Entering a long-term project with a short-term mindset has been one of the biggest trappers of liquidity that I have ever seen. In this series of videos that I'm going to make, I'm going to talk about Dangote Refinery IPO and SpaceX IPO. Now, listen carefully. Next video will be for SpaceX, but today, let's dedicate it to what? The Dangote Refinery IPO. Now, Dangote Refinery IPO is going to bring a whole lot of attention and change how the international community sees investing into Nigeria. It's also going to boost the confidence that people have in the NGX. Now, there are two significant things that Dangote is doing. And number one is inclusivity. And number two is heavy capital. Now, when it comes to inclusivity, you see that so many times people miss out not investing because they either have no access to any of the credentials you must have before you invest. Now, I want you to factor in the modus operandi that OPE and PAMPE used to capture a major chunk of the banking industry, helping to bank the unbanked. What was that? Making opening account with them as simple as ABC. Just with your phone number and your BVN, you are good to go. So Dangote Refinery is bringing that to stop. So what is it doing with inclusivity? Number one, you can buy the Dangote Refinery stock from any fintech app. You can buy it from a POS machine. You can buy it from MoneyPoint. You can buy it from OPE. You can buy it from PAMPE. That is inclusivity. Now, the only thing you need is just your BVN. Are you seeing that? That is one, inclusivity. So because of that, so much money, so much liquidity will come into the Dangote Refinery stock. The second one, capital. Now, this capital is not just capital. This is capital with an advantage of access. You have seen the likes of Mr. Femi Otedola selling off his Geregu power plant for $100 million just to wait and be in the private placement for the IPO, private placement. Now imagine him putting $100 million, according to what he said. The people who also got private placement are the kinds of Davido. Okay, now what is going to happen? This person will bring in their capital, right? This person will bring their influence. And again, inclusivity plus capital and influence is going to make Dangote Refinery IPO the most talked about IPO in the history of Africa and in the history of Nigerians in diaspora. Let me tell you, according to Dangote management, the IPO will hit the market by September this year. Now, if everything goes as planned and it hits September, it is going to cause a very big boost in the African demographic. Nigerians, Africans, Nigerians in diaspora and Africans in diaspora will invest. Now, listen carefully. If you don't want to get trapped, do not follow the crowd. Remember, this is a long-term project. So if you enter it with a short-term mindset, you are going to lose. Mind you, 10% of the refinery will be what will be listed, which is equal to $5 billion worth. That will be over 14 point something, and the private IPO price is, private placement price is at $0.35, which means the total shares that are willing to give is over 14 billion shares. Inside the 14 billion shares, only Femi Otedola is going to be going home with over 280 something million shares. Okay. Now, remember, people who are buying at private placement, Femi Otedola, Davido and co, are buying at $0.35 per dollar. And upon public listing, it will go to at least 2x. So we're expecting it to be at 0.7 something. Now, when it starts at 0.7 something, with the demand that is coming, remember everything is demand and supply. With the demand that is coming, the price will go up. Why will it go up? Remember, only 10% of the refinery is being listed. Now, inside the people who will get private placement, there is a certain percentage that will be locked for a certain period of time, which means, let's assume they agree that they are only going to allow you sell 20% in public offering and lock 80% until 1 year or until 2 years. Now, what will happen? There will be limited stock available in the market, but there will be maximum demand. What will happen? Price will shoot through the roof. Now, who will be the benefactors? These people that got in at private placement. Now, imagine Mr. Femi Otedola, let's say he's just allowed to, sell 20%. 20% will be around $20 million. Now, his $20 million is giving him $40 million. Why won't he sell? Now, he will sell. The ordinary man will keep on buying. And at the time, price will start tanking because the ordinary man do not understand the long-term game. They think that, oh, you bought a stock that is valued at 5 billion and you want it to do 2x, 3x immediately. No, that is not how the game works. Now, what will happen is that upon public listing, Dangote Refinery stock will go up and keep going up. The buzz and the noise around it will keep on going up until at the time it will stop dropping, because people who got in a private placement will almost exhaust whatever percentage they are allowed to sell when the market goes open, leaving the one that is staked for a certain period of time. When they finish selling, what is going to happen? Price is going to tank. Now, after price have tanked, so many persons who put in their school fees, business money and the rest of them expecting a quick flip, 2x, 3x, will do what? Will become tired. Now, somebody will see his 5 million have dropped to 950,000. He will say, oh, instead, I will lose all. Let me just take this 900 and something. And immediately he sells 900 and something K. The price comes to almost the bottom. Now, when it comes to the bottom, there is panic among the ordinary persons. Listen, this is a game. This is a psychological game. Now that they are out of the market, who is going to come and buy the bottom? These same guys who got in a private placement. The people who understand the game. And people who understand the game and calm down for the tension and the hype around the IPO to down. Now, people who rush to buy SpaceX IPO, where people have taken positions during private placement. Now, the market is down now. If you give it to the next 2 or 3 months, it is almost going to be close to the bottom. That is the time you start buying. Now, what are the benefits of buying Dangote Refinery IPO? You are buying in Naira, but your dividends is in dollars. So this is a good investment for you to hedge against inflation. But remember, if you do not wait for the whole thing to douse down and calm down, you buy immediately, it goes public. My brother, 99% of the time, you might likely lose money. Unless you have something that is giving you money. Unless you just buy and wait. But why buying at the top? When you can actually wait, when everybody is almost exhausted, you come and buy the bottom. Now, let's say 1 million at the top will get you 10 shares. But 1 million at the bottom can get you 50 or 60 shares, which means you have more shares with small money. What do you think? I'm making sense, right? Okay. Dangote Refinery is a very good, it's a very good buy. But make sure that your timing is strategic. See you.